listening to A Scary State, and this week we're talking about Arizona. So, Lauren,
Yes, Kenzie.
let's get scary.
Look at you doing this for the second time.
I know. I'm a little nervous.
I know. I see your eyes like continuously peeking down to look at it.
I want to make sure it's working.
I think it's going well.
Yeah, everything.
At least for the first 10 seconds we were doing it.
25, actually.
Oh, look at that.
Nothing has happened between the last time, right? There was no holidays.
No,
No.
I don't think so. I think we've just had like a pretty casual week.
Yeah.
First full week back at work, so that's never fun.
God, I was exhausted.
I was too.
Oh my God.
I was like, we've just had 2 weeks where I've worked 3 days.
Right.
And now I'm here for 5.
Yes. By the time we got to like Thursday and Friday, I was like, ugh.
And I actually had to like get to work on time because like usually I'll like, get there like 15, maybe 20 minutes after my like usual start time, whatever. I had to get there on time because I had to leave at certain times. Oh my God, I was exhausted.
Yes. There are things I have to tell you about work after this. I'm just not remembering.
You didn't remember in the hour and a half that we talked before this?
No. There's so many other things I needed to tell you.
I know. We did have a
And
lot to fill in on.
I forgot about work, even when I was talking about work earlier. So when we go offline or off air, then I'll tell you.
Okay.
It's irrelevant for them to hear anyway. It's not like it's a secret. It's just like boring.
They'd be like, more Mackenzie work.
Right. So trying to think, nothing eventful happened besides going to work.
At least not for us. In the world, it's been a very eventful time, but...
Sure. But
we won't talk about
We're keeping it local, so...
Yeah.
In the world, it's been horrendous.
The podcasts have been my little escape from all of that stuff.
Exactly. And so we will continue.
We will hopefully be that escape for people, too, to come here and just listen to things about Arizona today.
I was excited because the person who I believe is our German listener, or a listener from Germany, one of the two, commented on our New Year's episode on Spotify saying I did a good job with Unterweger.
I was impressed too. So now getting it from someone who's from Germany saying you did a good job, that's like peak praise.
They helped with the pronunciation of someone. They're thinking it maybe was Marika or something like that instead of whatever it is.
Whatever we said. Yeah. But see, it was done in such a nice way.
Yes, it was. And I really appreciate the support.
Yes.
From not halfway around the world, but pretty close.
But kind of.
Yeah. So shout out to you.
Yeah. You know who you are.
Yeah, they do. They always comment on her. So they will definitely know who we're talking about.
They'll be like, oh, that's me.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's it. That's all I could think of.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Last time, we didn't start Two Truths and a Lie until minute, 15.
Well, sometimes you just have so much to say.
Yeah. Now we're starting it at 3 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those people that find us so annoying will be so happy.
Because, our lives have been pretty boring.
There's not much that happens in the winter.
No.
The next exciting thing that's going to happen for either one of us is when you give birth.
I know. And that could be literally in 3 hours, in 3 days, in 3 weeks. Who's to say?
Stop that.
I know. It's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
When I was saying bye to people on Friday, they were like, maybe see you Monday. And I was like, ooh, don't put that on me. I will see you Monday.
Yes. Yeah. He'll come on time. He's your baby.
He's going to be punctual.
He's either going to be punctual or a day early just to make sure he gets here on time.
Because it'll stress him out if he's late.
Correct. So.
That would be so funny if he's just directly on time.
Yeah, exactly. Midnight, February 1st. All of a sudden.
Because there's only apparently 4% of babies are born on their actual due date.
That makes sense.
Yeah, which, because it's all an estimate.
Right.
But yeah, if that happens, that'd be so funny.
Out of everyone's baby, it would be yours.
It would be. I was talking to my hair lady. Her and I are literally the same person.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, yeah, I had my first at 37 weeks. And I said, well, don't tell me that. And she's like, well, we're the same person, so I want you to be prepared.
You gotta love it for it.
And I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
I just really hope that he chooses to arrive anytime after 5 p.m.
You have to stay in there so Mackenzie can get off work.
Or before 8:30.
Okay.
If he could come within that time frame. On a weekend, he has the whole day.
Oh.
But during the work week, if he could.
Well, February 1st is a Sunday.
Perfect.
So,
and I have off that Friday before because, well, not off, but it's a teacher work day, so I get to work from home. But for me, that's probably off. I don't have to do grades.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so if he wants to come that day, I'll be ready.
Okay.
He could also come on the 19th. I have that day off, too.
That's too early, thank you.
Yeah, but the 31st, that's perfect.
But I want him to be a February baby.
Why?
I don't know. I just have this, like, feeling of me where I'm like, he has to be a February baby.
Is it because everyone else you know is in
It
February?
really could be. It really could be.
Yeah.
I mean, Grandma and her mom were both January. So we have January babies, but I don't know. He strikes me as February.
Okay.
I saw this really funny thing, and one girl posted, she's like, I really hope my baby's not born in February because I don't know how to spell it.
It's so hard.
It is. It has that random R.
It's not needed.
February.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
It's obnoxious.
It is. I finally figured out Wednesday.
Oh, I learned that when I was in like elementary school when we went to Waterford and we did like that old.
Oh my God,
thing.
you did that too?
Yeah.
I did that too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's how I learned how to spell Wednesday because that was like our lesson for the day.
That's so funny. Do you remember who your person was?
Okay, I say the name and I don't know if this is right. Edith Claggett.
Okay.
I don't know why that name pops into my head. I don't know if that's like a person we learned about or if that was who I played.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it was like an Emma.
Oh.
Or something like that.
Then we got to play with like hoop and stick.
I don't remember. I remember my mom came.
And we got to did you dress up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember dressing up and that's about it.
Because I had a couple siblings in my class and like they were like older or younger and then you would do like your certain grade teaching.
Sure.
Yeah. I remember that.
I vaguely remember some of those things.
Do other states have that? I would assume they would.
Like field trips like that?
Well, like the Waterford kind of thing where like you would go,
like
you get
a colonial type shit?
Yeah, like you get a personality and then that's who you play for the day.
Maybe the 13 original, sure. But
oh, yeah, for the colonial stuff.
I think anything after that wasn't considered colonial.
That's true.
Do you remember the Jamestown trip?
Oh, yeah. Well, kind of.
So I remember going.
Yeah.
I remember being there. I don't remember.
One of my big things.
Like, I know I went.
One of the things I remember is playing on the bus. We got back onto the bus early and me and some girls were like, you would put your hands on, you know how you would like skip kind of on the bus where you would put your hands on the seat and like throw yourself forward?
Yeah.
I very distinctly remember that.
I just remember being outside and it was like very old-timey. Like I really don't. I know I went, but I just don't.
Well, everyone in Virginia, or at least Northern Virginia, definitely went.
I think it's.
I think all of
Virginia, even the people that live in Virginia Beach.
Well, yeah, because it's right there. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
The infamous Jamestown trip.
Oh yeah, all you learn about in 4th grade.
All these parents and kids and whatnot keep asking if we're going to Jamestown for our field trip, and I'm like, no, I am not going 4 hours away overnight.
Oh, it's overnight? Ours definitely wasn't overnight.
No, ours wasn't overnight. I don't know if it's overnight, but it's 4 hours there, 4 hours back.
Yeah.
You get home late.
Yeah. You do get home late. You get there early.
Absolutely. Field trips are by far my most stressful day of the year.
I get that.
I'm always terrified about losing a child.
Oh, yeah. That would be the worst.
I'm constantly counting.
I mean, I think I've talked about this on the show before, that Joe was left on a field trip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, I mean, they came back, they got him, he's fine.
Right.
But terrifying.
So, I get nervous bringing my kids out for walker duty and making sure that they find their parent and get to where they're supposed to be.
Right.
Let alone taking them off the school. If they want to do that, by all means, go for it. I will not be part of that field trip.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. So, sorry, not sorry. Plus, I think what we have planned anyway is going to be more fun. We're going to the Spy Museum.
Oh, I love the Spy Museum. That's the only elevator that I like will willingly go into because 1, I know I have to take the elevator. And 2, it changes colors.
Oh.
Yeah. It goes between like green, red, and blue.
I've been there before, but
And you're with a worker, so I feel like extra safe. And it's a big elevator.
I don't remember that part.
Joe and I went like just like a couple years ago.
My friend and I just wanted to like we didn't actually really read anything.
You just wanted to solve your mystery.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's fun. But yeah, that's the one elevator that I like know it's going to be there and I'm okay going on it.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're going. I'm doing some Revolutionary War type thing because
You know.
that's what they're learning. All righty.
All
Arizona.
right.
I think I believe in you with this one.
You're putting so much pressure on me.
There's one that I know you're going to know. So at the very least, that helps narrow it down.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In July 1917, during a tense labor dispute fueled by World War I paranoia, more than 1,200 striking copper miners and their supporters in Bisbee were rounded up by a civil-led posse made up of local law enforcement.
Citizen.
What did I say?
Civil.
Oh.
And it wasn't civil.
No. Citizen-led posse made up of local law enforcement and deputized townspeople. That's good. Armed men forced workers, many of them immigrants, into cattle cars at gunpoint. What year? We really think this was only 1917? Without formal charges. Oh my God, I hate this. Okay. Without formal charges, trials, or warrants, the men were transported across state lines and abandoned in the New Mexico desert with little food or water. The incident later, well, is this also Arizona though?
Yes, they were in Arizona.
Oh, moved to,
and
okay.
then moved to New Mexico.
Okay. The incident, later known as the Bisbee deportation, was widely criticized as unconstitutional, yet no one involved was ever criminally punished. The event remains one of the largest instances of vigilante justice in U.S. labor history.
Is it vigilante, though, if they're wrong and they're not actually vigilanting anything?
They're going to call themselves that.
Okay.
All right, that one sounds legit.
Okay.
Okay. Because it's happening again. So.
And we know history tends to repeat itself.
Uh-huh. At the Yuma Territorial Prison, inmates endured some of the harshest conditions in the American Southwest during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Summer temperatures regularly exceeded 120 degrees, and prisoners were confined in cramped stone cells that trapped heat. Punishments included time in isolation cells called dark holes, where inmates were kept in complete darkness with minimal food. Disease, dehydration, heat exhaustion were constant threats, and several inmates died while serving their sentences. Despite its reputation, the prison was also paradoxically promoted as a model institution, highlighting the brutal disconnect between public image and lived reality. I know this is real because I talked about the Yuma Territorial Prison.
Jeez.
So we can cross that off. We know that's real.
We know
that's the truth.
Number 2 is definitely true. All right.
All
We
right.
just got to figure out another one.
Oh, okay. In the late 1900s, the booming mining town of Jerome was rumored to have been built atop a mass unmarked grave created after a catastrophic mine collapsed, killing hundreds of workers. According to local legend, mining companies allegedly covered up the disaster to avoid financial losses and labor unrest, quietly burying the dead underneath unstable ground that later became residential neighborhoods. Over time, stories of unexplained sinkholes, sudden structural failures, and ghostly encounters were said to support the theory that the town's foundations concealed a forgotten tragedy deliberately erased from official records. That sounds like it could be real, too. So... Okay. Because I know, and you've already said it, these towns are real.
Yes.
I knew that Jerome was a town.
Yes.
Things like that sound legit.
Yes.
God, Mackenzie. The first one just has so much detail, but I've never heard of Bisbee deportation. But also at the same time, I don't learn a lot about history.
I was going to say, is she really going to go with that? That's
I can't. All right. I'm going to say, because history tends to repeat itself, I'm going to say number 3 is the lie.
Okay, final answer?
Yes. I got it!
You got it right!
Finally!
Yeah.
It just has so many parallels to today.
So this is what ChatGPT said about story number 3, which is the lie. Jerome was undeniably dangerous, marked by frequent accidents, fires, and deaths, but there is no historical evidence of a single catastrophic collapse, killing hundreds, or a mass grave hidden beneath the town. The story draws on real mining dangers and Jerome's reputation for hauntings, blending fact with folklore in a way that feels disturbingly plausible.
Okay.
So it's on the border of truth and lies.
Yeah, it's like right there.
Yeah. But good job. You finally got one.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. It had to happen sometime.
I think, no, your thinking was very logical. I liked how you went with it. History tends to repeat itself.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore,
yeah,
I like it.
Because it really sounded like you could be talking about like today.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
well, good job.
Thank you.
I knew you were going to be able to do it.
Thanks.
Yeah. You just have to use those critical thinking skills.
Oh, and look at me. I sometimes can. It's getting a little bit harder, but sometimes I'm there.
I did see a thing where it was like, I guess, I don't know, pregnancy brain or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like takes 6 months.
Oh, great.
I don't know if it lasts for 6 months or like when you're pregnant for 6 months or if it's 6 months after.
Well, either way, I told you about my most recent one, where I gave Roy his pills using the peanut butter.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, I put the peanut butter in our dirty sink.
Yes.
It didn't go back onto its normal place on the counter. It went in our dirty sink.
Yes.
And then I came back downstairs and I was like, well, the peanut butter shouldn't be right there. And nope, yeah, it was. So,
But that's also not your first pregnancy brain mishap.
no,
So,
there have been others. A lot of it's I forget words.
right. It's like one of those things where you're not thinking,
Yeah.
you're just going through the motions.
Yeah.
But I also forget words a lot too. So,
It's just like extra bad now, and it really annoys me because I'll be trying to explain something to Joe, and I'm like, the thing that's right there, that I need you to move it that way. And he's like, I don't know what you're saying.
yeah, I'll help you with that. As someone who regularly forgets words, I can help you with figuring out ways to describe it by still calling it a thingy.
A lot of mine is just like, that thing right there, you need to twist it and put it over there.
Well, that's directions.
Well, that's a lot of what we've been doing because I can't do a lot of stuff, so I have to explain what I want him to do.
Mine is usually I'm like telling someone something. I'm like, yeah, the doohickey, like, you use it for whatever. And then they'll say what it is. I'm like, yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like with you, I've gotten like, I've been able to decipher that.
Because I give good clues of what I'm trying to say.
That could be the reasoning why.
I know what I'm talking about. I just don't remember what it's called.
That could be. That could be.
Usually if I forget a word, it's like I'm trying to give an adjective of some sort to a situation or whatever, and I can't think of the right word. And then usually after I explain the situation, the person who I'm talking to is like, oh, like blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yes,
That's it.
that's it. So, yeah. Well, good job, buddy.
Thanks.
I knew you could do it.
I knew I could sometime, maybe. What spooky ends you conjuring, Kens?
Nice. All right. I am checking off an episode idea from my episode idea list
Oh,
with the disappearance and murder of DiAnne Keidel.
okay.
I first saw this case on an episode of Forensic Files
Naturally.
and on Evil Lives Here.
I know you love that one.
It would take 30 years for this case to finally be solved thanks to the bravery of someone who witnessed the murder all those years ago. DiAnne Keidel was 31 years old and a single mother when she met Lyle Eugene Jean Keidel in 1956 while she was working at her family's grocery store. Believe it was in Illinois at that time.
Okay, I was going to say, we're in Arizona.
Yeah, I know. Jean was charming and a smooth talker. It wasn't long before DiAnne was swept off her feet. After dating for a short period of time, Jean and DiAnne got married and moved to Phoenix, Arizona.
There we go.
There you go. The couple would end up having 3 children together, making it oh, did I say single mother? Yes, I said single mother, right?
I can't remember.
She's 31 years old and a single mother when she met.
Oh, okay.
I just want to make sure because I'm about to say it makes the family of 6 now.
Oh my God.
Because she had one daughter from a previous marriage.
Okay.
Who was like 2
Okay.
at the time. And then they had 3 children together.
So 4.
So 4 kids altogether, 2 adults, family of 6.
Okay, gotcha.
Karen, who went by Susie, was the oldest. Then came Kelly and Greg. I think it's like Kelly, then Greg, but they're really close in age. So I don't know if they're twins or Irish twins or something like that. But I'm pretty sure it's Kelly, then Greg, and the youngest was Lori.
Okay.
From the outside looking in, the Keidels were the perfect family, but behind closed doors, it was a much darker story.
As it always seems to be.
Jean was abusive to both his children and his wife. DiAnne would do what she could to protect her children, but Jean was quick to anger. DiAnne had finally had enough, and in 1966, she asked for a divorce and kicked Jean out of the house. Once he was gone, there was finally some peace in the Keidel home, but sadly, that would not last very long. On September 17th, 1966, Jean and DiAnne went out to dinner to finalize their divorce and split their assets. DiAnne dropped Jean off at his apartment and then met a man she had been seeing for a drink. Jean called the house, and when his children told them that their mom wasn't home yet, Jean was furious. Jean arrived at the house and told the babysitter that she was free to go home. So he played it off as like, oh, I'm just babysitting the kids. That's why I'm here. Lori remembered that her father seemed eerily calm and wasn't yelling or throwing a fit like he would usually do.
Ew.
Sometime later, after the children were off to sleep, DiAnne came home to find her raging soon-to-be ex-husband. Immediately, a fight ensued between the two that was very loud and very violent. The next morning, the children found their dad asleep on the couch, and their mother was nowhere to be found. Jean immediately filed a missing persons report and swiftly moved back into the house. Lori, who was 5 years old at the time, didn't believe her father's story that her mother had just run off.
Wow, at 5.
Yeah. According to missing persons detective Emma Groom, quote, I know she had arrived home. Her car was there, her purse was in the house, her keys were in the house, on the table in the kitchen. DiAnne did not take any clothes with her that we learned of, and there was no reason for her to run away. There was no motive there.
Yeah.
Neighbors and family said DiAnne would never leave her children. Forensics Files pointed out this like random fact, but I only ever saw it while watching that.
Mm-hmm.
But the man that DiAnne had was dating and went to get drinks with the night she disappeared,
Right.
either the next day after she was reported missing or just like the next day in general, he died of a heart attack.
Oh.
They never come back to it in any way. So it's either crazy coincidence
Yeah.
or something is sus.
Yeah.
But they never come back to it. So
It's like, these are the questions that we have. It's
Right.
like, okay, that's a big piece. Like, go back to that.
why throw that information in there if you're not going to even bring it all back together?
Right.
So if he knew anything about her disappearance, he took it with him to the grave. Police kept hitting dead ends, and eventually the case went cold. Not long after DiAnne disappeared, Lori and her siblings noticed a concrete slab in their backyard that hadn't been there before.
Oh, geez.
Their father claimed that he was going to build a shed, but the shed was never built. 4 months later, another tragedy would strike. While Gene was out at the laundromat, his house caught fire with his children trapped inside.
Oh.
They were asleep. It's nighttime.
So
Lori-
he just leaves them
Mhm.
to go to the laundromat.
Mhm.
How old's the oldest one? Like, still about 5, 6 at the time?
12.
Oh, 12 at this time.
The oldest is 12. Lori is the one who's 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But still, that's like, I don't know.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Lori recalls being woken by her older sister and feeling the heat from the fire that surrounded them.
Oh my God.
Lori remembers the smoke making it hard to breathe and that she tried to crawl out of the house. So when she's recalling it, she talks about like that she was thrown back from like the intense heat of the fire.
Okay.
But then on Forensic Files, it said that she ran back for something. So
Okay.
point being,
She tried to go forward, goes
And-
back for some reason.
and they couldn't get out.
Okay. And are all 4 of the siblings together at this time trying to get out?
No, but I'll get
Okay.
there.
Okay.
She recalled being thrown back into her sisters from the intense heat of the fire. At one point, she remembers feeling the fire burning her skin, but she also felt her oldest sister, Susie, who was 12 at the time, laying on top of her.
Oh.
Susie said she would never leave Lori, and they both could hear the sounds of the fire trucks. Susie told Lori that they were coming to save them, and the last thing Lori remembers is her sister telling her she loved her, and then she said, quote, we died.
Oh my God.
Lori actually died and had to be revived a couple of times after being rescued by firefighters. Thankfully, Greg had managed to make it out of the house with the help of a neighbor. Lori was rushed to the hospital with burns covering 50% of her little body. Unfortunately, 12-year-old Susie and 8-year-old Kelly would die in the fire.
Oh no.
Yeah, so mom disappeared.
Oh my
4 months
God.
later, they lose their sisters.
Jeez.
So Lori was also saying, too, that it was like 3rd degree, 4th degree, which I didn't know was a thing,
I didn't either.
and 5th degree burns, which apparently is like down to the bone.
Yeah, I didn't know it went any higher than like 3rd degree.
Yeah. So,
Ugh.
yeah. And she's a little baby.
Yeah.
So 50% of her body,
Wow.
that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's so sad.
I know. Police and fire investigators quickly ruled the fire as an accident that was started by a pan that had been left on the stove in the kitchen. The stove was on.
That sounds suspicious.
Subsequently, the death of Susie and Kelly would also be ruled an accident. What young Lori did not understand is why her father was going to the laundromat when they had a perfectly good washer and dryer at the home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lori, her brother Greg, and her father all eventually moved back into the house. Gene would fix it up and would also marry again 3 years after his wife had disappeared. By 1975, Gene was able to convince a judge to declare DiAnne Keidel deceased,
That was going to be my next question.
no doubt to collect on insurance money.
Duh.
But Gene wasn't a changed man, though. While he wasn't obviously abusive, Lori recalls things that her father did to make her think he wanted her dead. Besides the fire, Gene would also go deep-sea fishing. There was one time when Lori went along with her father, and he threw her overboard and told her to swim back to shore.
In the deep sea?
Which, like, she said deep-sea fishing, but they were far enough she couldn't see the shoreline, but not
Not deep sea.
deep sea. Yeah.
Well, still, oh my God. So did she swim to shore? Okay, sorry.
Lori recalled how painful it was because she was still healing from the burns on her body.
Ugh.
She shared how her skin would rip if she moved a certain way, causing it to bleed again. She remembers feeling fish nibble away at the skin and blood that was coming off of her. Eventually, due to strong will and determination, Lori made it back to shore. She shared that when her father found her, he was genuinely surprised that she had made it back. Each time Lori went with her father, he would toss her overboard.
I would stop going.
It wasn't long before Lori began to turn down going fishing with her dad.
Yeah.
Lori got away from her father as soon as she turned 18. It didn't stop him from harassing her, but she did her best to move on from her childhood trauma and live her life to the fullest. She finished high school and went to college. She got married and even bought a horse.
Okay.
She thought she had blocked the whole thing from her mind until one day she was reminded of the horror that took place in her house when she was 5 years old. So this is from Lori.
Okay.
This is what she says kind of instigated everything. So she says that she was witnessing her horse give birth and the baby was struggling to get out of the placenta. And
To get out of the placenta?
Yeah. I guess when horses are born, they're in, and then when they start moving, then it breaks. But I guess it was struggling and therefore it couldn't breathe.
Are they in the amniotic sac or are they in the placenta?
She said placenta.
Interesting.
I don't know horses.
I don't either.
Certainly don't know them giving birth, but
Me
that's
either.
what she said. Whatever the baby was in
Right,
and
okay.
couldn't breathe.
Sorry. Okay, yes. That's the point of the story.
That's the
yes.
point. The mom horse got up and whatever the mom horse did, it broke whatever the thing the baby was in, and therefore the baby could breathe and survived and everything was great.
Okay.
It was in that moment that Lori remembered her mother had protected her from dying. She knew right then she could no longer keep the secret that she had been harboring for the last 30 years. On June 9th, 1993, Lori walked into the Phoenix Police Department and asked to speak to a detective. As she handed over a typed letter, she told detectives that she remembered seeing her father killing her mother and burying her in the backyard.
Oh.
So I have part of the letter that I screenshotted from the YouTube video.
Mhm.
So I'll read as much as I can.
Okay.
It's just the bottom part that I don't get to. So it says, "To whom it may concern, I need to convey to authorities what I witnessed as a child. First, I must greatly impress, both underlined, the fear I have of my father's violent retaliation. I was often told when I was a child by my father, I brought you into this world, I can take you out. He also told me that if I didn't live with him, I'd have to live in jail for children. I had countless beatings from this man when I was a child, and he has made violent attempts on me since I became an adult. I was often woken at night by my parents fighting. Susan, my older sister, would take all of us children to her room. We'd all hide in her closet.
Aww.
I woke one night late. They were yelling. I walked to the end of the hall and watched. Dad was yelling at Mom. He was very mad. Then they came into the front door. He was hitting her, throwing her around. He began something wildly. I can't tell what that is. It's a screenshot, so.
Right.
Something wildly. She saw me and yelled, "Go back to bed, go back to bed," a few times. He grabbed for her shoulder and grabbed her by the neck. He threw her down, yelling profanity at her, telling her she'd never see him again, that she was a whore and would never see that man again. Susan came up behind me. She put her hand on my shoulder. She was squeezing down very hard. I remember her grip so clearly. Let me pull up the other one. Okay, this is going to be extra hard because there's words on top of it. So, Mom was trying to get away from Dad now as he beat her. He hit her very hard. She hit the center mantelpiece of the Arcadian door, I think is what that says, and slid to the floor. She was completely lifeless. She just laid there. As Dad stood over her body, Susan bent down next to me, wrapped her arms around me, and stood up and carried me to her bedroom. We hid in her closet again for a long time. So I couldn't get the rest of it because then the scene changed.
Yeah.
But basically what the story is that she tells is that they go hide in the closet,
Mm-hmm.
and then a little bit later they look out the window and they see their mom just lying there on the pool deck.
Ugh.
So Susie and Lori, or maybe it was just Lori at the time, had gone downstairs
Mm-hmm.
and were secretly watching their father essentially dig this hole and bury their mom.
Ugh.
Susan eventually came down. So at the end of it, it was only Lori and Susan that ever knew about what their father did. Their two other siblings actually believed their dad that their mom just ran off because they had no idea any of this
Right.
happened.
Right.
Before detectives were willing to dig up someone's backyard on a 30-year-old memory, they needed evidence. Jean had sold the house, and police were hesitant to ask the new owners if they could dig without
Oh.
substantial
Mm-hmm.
evidence knowing that it was down there.
Would you let detectives do that?
100%.
Yeah, I would too.
Eventually, they were able to get access to ground penetrating radar. They
Mm.
discovered an anomaly right under the concrete slab that Lori had showed detectives where her mother would be buried. They only had to dig a few inches before they found the remains of a human skull.
Just inches.
Yeah.
Wow.
It didn't take long for investigators to discover a full body skeleton, wearing 1960s style clothing and had a nylon stocking around its neck.
Jeez.
Yeah. And when you look at it, it's a complete skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
It's truly obviously laid there, decomposed everything,
Right.
clothes are still there, etc. So, unfortunately, there wasn't any usable DNA on the skeleton just because of time.
Okay.
Forensic files said something about something with your teeth enamel or something like that.
Right. I was gonna wonder about teeth.
Yeah, apparently it can hold on to DNA, I guess, for a really long time, but
Mm-hmm.
what they said was bacteria got to it, so there was no usable DNA.
And I mean, I guess that makes sense because it's just in the ground. It's not like it's in a
Exactly.
like a coffin or something.
Exactly. Or in a bag,
Right.
things like that. She's just in the ground.
Right.
Also, Diane's dental records had long been discarded when her dentist had retired. So they don't have any dental records.
Right.
Investigators were going to have to get creative in order to properly identify the remains. One way they did this was by analyzing a tree root that had grown through the skull. Scientists were able to determine that the skeleton had been put in the hole before the tree root was there.
Makes sense. Yes.
Right. The root was about 15 years old, so they knew that the body had been placed in the hole prior to 1978.
Okay.
A forensic anthropologist studied the remains and was able to determine the victim was a Caucasian female between 5'4" and 5'5". The pelvic bone showed that the woman had given birth to at least 2 children and was between 20 and 40 years old.
Things like this are just so cool.
I knew you'd get a kick out of this. The anthropologist used skull photograph superimposition in replacement of dental records. The picture of the skull and a picture of Diane right before she disappeared were laid on top of one another. Based on the alignment of the teeth in each picture, it was determined that the remains belonged to DiAnne Keidel.
Wow. How cool that they could figure that out.
Right? Police arrested 61-year-old Jean Keidel for the first-degree murder of his wife. Lori testified at her father's trial, and Jean Keidel was found guilty of murder and sentenced to life in prison.
God, just imagine how hard that would be to testify at that.
I think at that point, though, she had such an estrained relationship with her dad.
But still,
Absolutely. Absolutely. He did end up dying in 2004.
Oh, wow.
So also she had the Phoenix Fire Department reopen the fire, the case for her house.
Yeah.
And they did declare it to be arson. And so with her sisters, the death certificate changed from accidental to arson.
Mm-hmm.
He was never technically charged with their murder or anything like that. It was only their mom. But she did get that to change. I think she also sued the city and got some money.
As she should.
So her story is very interesting. On the episode for Evil Lives Here, it's just her, and she just kind of takes you through everything from her point of view.
Jeez.
And at first, when I was listening to it, I was like, 5? That's a lot of detail for 5.
Yeah.
But then one of the investigators that she had went to in the 90s, like a cold case investigator or something like that, he was like, she never forgot this memory. It was always there. She was always thinking about it. And so,
if it's something traumatic enough.
Right. If it's that profound and you're keeping it alive by constantly thinking about it.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to remember it 30 years later.
That makes sense.
So, in conclusion, kids are always watching and always listening. And coming from a teacher, they do know your secrets. And that is the story of DiAnne Keidel.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah. And he, the way she explained it is he knew that Susan and Lori had obviously seen him beat her up. He didn't realize that they saw her
be buried.
What was so innocent and so sad is Lori was talking about how she thought her mom might be hibernating
Oh, stop it.
because her mom had explained to her that, like, some animals will go into a hole
Mackenzie.
and sleep for a long time.
Stop. That's
So she
so
isn't it?
sad.
So she thought maybe she didn't
Ugh,
understand. Obviously, she's 5. She did not
she doesn't
understand the
understand it.
concept.
Yeah.
And her dad's saying that she disappeared,
Oh,
you
that's so
know?
sad.
And so it wasn't until she had gone to the funeral for, like, a family friend,
Mhm.
and it was an open casket, and someone explained that the casket was gonna go into the ground, and she started kind of freaking out. She's like, "Well, we have to wake him up. We can't," kind of
Mhm.
connecting those 2
Yeah.
ideas. And I guess someone finally explained to her that he was dead, and that's when it clicked for her that her
Wow.
mom was dead.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, she's terrified of her father.
Well, yeah.
Um,
Clearly
and
he's trying to get rid of her.
right, like, she, while there's no definitive proof, she has no doubt in her mind that, like, the fire plus all the other things
Well,
he did
yeah.
were, like, on purpose to get rid of her.
Exactly. Like if he knows that the 2 girls saw what happened.
Right. I would have loved to find some perspectives from Greg,
Yeah.
but
He seems just kind of like a background character in all of
but
this.
it wasn't. I didn't see anything.
Yeah. Which, I
So
mean, at the same time, if he doesn't wanna talk about anything, you can't blame him.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, so she also said when she finally moved out, she didn't tell her dad where she was going, but he found her anyway.
Ugh.
And so when I was talking about, like, him harassing her, she thought that it was him doing it because, like, still trying to terrify her into not saying anything,
Mm,
even as an adult.
yeah.
And so as time went on, like, he chilled out a little bit and whatnot.
He got way too many free years.
Right. And then after the whole horse thing, that's when she was like,
It's so weird when there's, like, one event
mhm.
that is like, that's it.
Well, according to one of the sources I looked at, it was like a timeline, and apparently she went to the Phoenix police in, like, 1980 something, but got too nervous and left and didn't say anything.
Oh.
She also said, I think it was in The Evil Lives Here. This is the only mention of, like, Greg that made me think, okay, he obviously, because I was like, everyone, 2 people can grow up in the same house and have completely different experiences. Not that, when she was saying all of us would hide, I am assuming Greg was in that.
Yeah.
But I don't know how Greg felt towards his dad because he believed that his mom ran off
Right.
because he didn't see anything.
Right, so yeah, for him, it's all different.
Right, exactly. So,
Yeah.
like, what was his perspective? But she claimed in Evil Lives Here that after she had given the police the letter telling them that she was afraid of her dad, one of them went and told her dad. Yeah,
Why?
I,
Why are men?
I don't know. And so she remembered her brother had called her and told her, like, hey, dad knows.
And how old was she at that point?
She was 5 in 1966. It was 27 years later.
Oh, okay.
So in her 30s.
Okay. Well, nice telling.
Thank you.
I can never say nice story because they're not nice stories.
It's not a nice story.
But it's a nice retelling of
Right.
the story.
And it just, I know people are very hesitant to believe children. And again, as a teacher, yes.
Yeah.
Kids embellish.
Yeah.
They misremember things.
Absolutely.
It's always good to double check.
Absolutely.
But it's also important to believe them.
Yes, it's also important to go double check.
Right. Give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Now, don't assume right away that they're telling the truth and yell at adults because 9 times out of 10. Anyway, not the point. The point is
Listen to both sides.
right.
Investigate both sides.
Listen to children,
Yeah.
And when the story doesn't waver even 30 years later,
Yeah, that's a big thing.
there is something to that. Now, I thought they handled it appropriately by not being like, okay, yeah, let's go arrest him and dig up the yard.
Yeah.
Because it could have been
First time
untruthful.
we're hearing police
Yes.
do something the way that they
Exactly.
should.
Like, that made sense. But yeah. So you were 3 months old.
Aw.
I was still cooking.
Yeah.
Not when she died, but
You're
when
making your mom miserable.
not miserable. Yeesh. Only the first part.
From experience, you're making her miserable.
Oh, shut up. But yeah, so there it is.
Wow, there it is. Nicely done.
Yeah. So if you have Hulu, there is like 20 seasons of Evil Lives Here, and it's you get the perspective of the people that lived with the monster.
I mean, everyone has heard you talk about it.
Exactly.
So
yes.
go watch it.
So go watch it. It's very interesting. I didn't realize how many seasons were on Hulu, so now I have something to do. I've watched the first few seasons somewhere else, so I'm probably just gonna stick to like there's ones that were even not published. What's the like when they put it
Released?
Thank you. See, this is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
In like 2024,
Oh.
2025 even. So
wow.
I want to watch some of those.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, nicely done.
There she plays. I'm gonna take that out. I don't know why I said that. What's spooky to you pouring, Lauren?
So I have a mysterious disappearance for you today.
Yay!
As I feel like I haven't done one in quite a bit.
You haven't.
I know.
I've
And I
done
was
one more recently than you have.
I know. And I was like, if I'm gonna be, taking a little break soon, I have to get all of my good stuff in there.
I agree.
All right. So this is the 1951 story of Klaus Martens and June Marajune Walker.
Can you say those names again?
Klaus Martens.
Klaus Martens.
Who I will be calling Martens.
Okay.
And then June Marajune Walker.
June Marajune Walker.
Who I will be calling Walker.
Okay.
So Martens and Walker.
Got it.
Martens is the guy. Walker is the female.
Okay.
Klaus was a 28-year-old combat intelligence veteran of World War II. After the war, he was able to get a well-paying job as a salesman for the Orwin W. Fox Company in Pasadena. The firm that he worked for specialized in selling diesel equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Martens was well-educated and highly intelligent. He was also a very charming man. He was a member of the Junior Chamber of Commerce and California National Guard, where he was part of the best social circles.
Oh.
All we know about...
Fancy man.
I know, fancy man. All we know about June was that she was 26 and worked as a resident student nurse at Pasadena Hospital.
Okie dokie.
As it always goes.
Yes.
So the two made a very cute couple, with Martin's good looks and Walker's pretty face.
How did they meet? The hospital? It doesn't say.
Nope,
Okay.
never found out how they met.
Okie dokie.
The pair began dating in April of 1951. By July of 1951, it was clear to everyone that Walker was absolutely smitten with Martens.
Oh my gosh, our stories kind of took place around the same time.
Oh. Martin's feelings were never really well known, though, but when Walker spoke of marriage, she always said that she would marry a man like Martin, though at the time, he never initiated any conversation about marriage.
Mm.
It could make sense why he never really spoke of marriage to Walker, because while they were dating, Martens was
He was married!
Technically still married to a woman named Nina Hess, the daughter of a prominent Los Angeles attorney, though Martens and Nina were in the process of a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in the process of divorce, so as that's going on, he's dating another woman.
Okie dokie. If you say so.
It was Sunday, June 15th, and Martens was getting ready to head to Blythe for a business meeting where Walker would be joining him. Though they had been dating for a few months, this would be the first flight that the two would be taking together, because they had to fly to Blythe.
Which is Arizona?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured we'd get there eventually.
We're in Arizona.
You said California.
He was part of the California National Guard.
Where's Pasadena?
Pasadena, I don't know. Anywho, we're in Arizona.
Okay.
So maybe Pasadena, Arizona.
I
didn't-
it's in Arizona.
There are more than one cities and places. Let's look up.
Thought Pasadena was California.
Okay, so you're right. And okay, I'm remembering the story. Okay, they start in California.
Yes.
We'll make our way to Arizona, I promise you.
Well, Blythe sounds like it's in Arizona. Are we sure? Just double checking.
Okay, it's also in California.
Oh.
I didn't fail. The whole story takes place in Arizona.
I believe you.
Okay.
I trust you.
Okay.
Honestly, even if it was California, I wouldn't be mad.
Okay, so they're flying from a place in California to another place in California.
Sounds good.
Is the plan.
Okay.
Okay. And flying to this business meeting on his own wasn't an odd thing to do. Martens was a commercially licensed pilot who had logged over 400 air hours.
So when you say on his own, you mean
he's flying a plane.
It.
Yes.
And this is her flying with him?
This will be her first time flying with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, why is that a big deal? They're just passengers. But no.
I know how
Okay.
it sounded at first.
Okay. I didn't realize he was flying the plane.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
So he rented a 2-plane Cessna, which isn't 2 planes. It's just, I guess, a type of Cessna.
I assumed.
140 from the AMVETS flight school.
Okay.
The flight to Blythe would be about 200 miles.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say something.
No.
Oddly, before the flight, Martens never filed a flight plan. This was especially strange because, being a very experienced pilot, filing a flight plan should have just been common knowledge,
Right.
something that he should have done out of habit.
I feel like it's one of the main things you do before you fly.
They're always filed before a flight.
Right.
So it's kind of odd, like, even if you're doing a personal flight,
Yeah.
you file one.
But, I mean, yeah, it just seems like, you put your socks on, then you put your shoes on, and then tie your laces. It's like you get the plane ready, you tell people where you're going.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But anywho, June 15th was a nice day, and weather conditions were good when the two took off out of East Los Angeles Airport. See, that's how I knew we were in California.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as we could have guessed, the plane never arrived at its destination.
Dun, dun, dun.
So a search was immediately launched of the route that it was assumed the couple had taken, but no signs of the couple or the plane were found. So it wasn't until August 1st, around 2 months later, that something came up. A ranger from the Arizona Fish and Game Department was in the middle of the desert, near an Army practice bombing range.
Wait. What's his title?
An Arizona Fish and Game Department. Like a ranger from the Arizona Fish and Game Department.
And he was where?
In the middle of the desert.
Okay.
Well, fish and game.
I know, it just sounds...
I see where you're coming from.
It sounds a little funny.
So he was near an Army practice bombing range.
Okay.
Out in the middle of the desert. 50 miles...
In Arizona.
In Arizona.
Okay.
50 miles southeast of Yuma.
Ah!
Yeah. When he came across the Cessna 140.
Oh.
This location was over 100 miles southeast of the couple's original destination.
I was going to say, I don't know where Blythe is comparatively to where they are. Do you know if they were going north or they were going south?
Let me check. Okay, so Los Angeles is here.
Yeah.
And they're flying kind of like this down to Blythe, which is down... How do I describe that?
Southeast? Southwest?
Southeast.
Southeast.
So it's kind of southeast from Los Angeles.
So southeast would also, like, it's not, obviously Arizona's not on the way because it's afterwards, but, like, you would have to go east to get to Arizona.
Yes.
Okay.
And so this flight went, so say you're only going like 40 degrees southeast to get to Yuma or to get to Blythe. They're, let's say, like 60 degrees southeast.
Got it.
And that gets them to Yuma.
Okay.
So they're no longer in California. They have now moved into Arizona.
Right. Okay.
A picture of that will be included in our social media post.
Cool, because no one's going to understand. It's
Nope.
here and here and here, and they can't see
That's why I
anything.
tried to say, okay, how can I describe this? Yeah, so it'll be in our social media post so you can see the flight that was taken.
Yes.
Like the path where they were supposed to go and the path where the plane ended up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the location was over 100 miles southeast of the couple's original destination.
Southeast. Wow, that's like really far. I mean, obviously you have to pass your destination to get to Arizona.
And especially because their destination was only supposed to be about 200 miles away in the first place.
Do we know how long that would have been for a flight?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So this first led to an investigation of the aircraft, and what was found was puzzling. The plane was in good working order, as in it hadn't crashed here, and there was still gas in the tank. There was also a note found in the plane, in Martens' handwriting, that said, quote, 5:45 a.m. Monday, started walking, heading due west on foot. But there was no additional information found, such as why this is where they landed, what they were where they were planning on going, any of that.
What was his role in the military again? Sorry.
He was a combat intel veteran.
Okay, so it didn't have anything to do with flying.
No.
He just happened to also have his pilot license.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There was also an arrow found that had been drawn onto the ground, like in the sand, pointing to the west, which is in the direction of the Mexican desert.
That's interesting, though, that I mean, at first glance, it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong. They still have gas. At the very least, you would think they would be able to make it somewhere closer to civilization, even if they can't make it to their destination.
We'll get to that too.
Okay.
There were also 2 sets of footprints that walked for about 3 miles before stopping abruptly. So in the direction of the arrows, they find footprints, but they stopped abruptly and no bodies were found.
Maybe someone picked them up.
Potentially. At this point, the search for the couple was no longer along their planned route, but now instead in this area where the plane was actually found. But searchers feared that they weren't looking for Martens and Walker, but rather looking for bodies. This desert
How long has it been at this time? Do we know?
About 2 months.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The desert is extremely hot, with temperatures that can reach well over 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 49 Celsius.
As we know.
Which we talked about. No one without food, water, or proper clothing could possibly survive in this area for more than a day or 2.
Right.
Sheriffs had said that there was no way Walker could have gone over 7 to 8 miles across the desert, as she was hatless and dressed in shorts. But despite intensive search efforts, actually the most intense search effort that the Arizona border country had ever produced, no bodies or any additional clues were found. So they had like a big ol' search.
And I wonder, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but like when I think of like Arizona, I mainly think of flat desert. But I
Mhm.
know that there's like, you obviously have the Grand Canyon.
Oh, yeah.
And so I know that there's parts of the desert that have mountainy type things that make it a little bit harder to see. But I can imagine that if you're in a place that's relatively flat and there's
Mhm.
not much going on, it'd be very easy to spot somebody.
Right, you're not looking in, like, super dense
Right,
forests.
exactly.
Yeah. So the whole disappearance puzzled investigators and authorities who ended up having many questions.
Me
Like
too.
why like why did Martens land at this particular location? So the town of Welton was a 10-minute flight away from where Martens had landed.
Okay.
Even more odd, the couple's footprints showed that they had walked across a road, a very clearly marked road that would have led to Welton. So instead
Yeah, you would
of
think they would have followed the road.
yes, so instead of walking to the road and being like, "Oh, civilization," they walked right on past the road.
They were like, well, let's keep going west and get to Blythe. Like,
Yeah, who knows? So if they were lost or landed somewhere they hadn't planned, why didn't they take the main road that would have led to civilization?
it almost seems like maybe there's some Delulu going on.
There's some what?
Delulu going on.
Maybe. And the main east-west highway that crosses Arizona was only 30 miles from where the plane landed. This highway
Only 30 miles.
well, but not to like walk, but this highway absolutely would have been visible to Martins from the air. So he would have seen this highway. So if he had to land
He
somewhere
could have landed close.
to a highway,
The
which is
highway.
civilization.
Interesting.
He also had a compass and map in the plane, and the plane's radio was in working order. So, how did he get lost with both a compass and a map? And he was in the military, so he knows how to use these things.
Right.
And if something had gone wrong, why hadn't he sent out a message at all on the radio that worked?
And he's obviously done this before.
Exactly.
So he would know what to do if there was a problem.
Yes. Like, he's not he's a very intelligent guy. He was an intel officer.
Right.
Like,
So far, obviously they don't see external damage. I know that they saw that there was still gas left.
mhm.
Have they determined that there was nothing wrong with the plane?
Pretty much. They're like,
Okay.
gas looks good, radio's working, the plane's not crashed. Like,
Yeah.
the plane's in working order.
There's nothing that malfunctioned
Not that they can see.
to indicate this is why he would have landed.
Not that they can see.
Okay.
And they're like, even if there had been something wrong,
Yeah.
he had a radio.
Right. There if something had been wrong, the way he dealt with it would not have been the way that
Correct.
Yeah.
It was also determined that they had landed about midday, but the area around the plane was undisturbed. So how had they been able to just walk away in the extremely hot midday sun without taking shelter of some form? So experienced
there's no like wheel tracks from the because obviously a plane when it lands it doesn't just boop, stop.
yeah, no, but like they're saying so experienced desert trackers say that lost travelers usually leave more of a sign as they struggle to survive. So they're pretty much saying
Oh,
it looked like the plane landed, they got out and they just walked.
and then
Not
disappeared.
like they tried to find shelter, they tried to stay, it's
Yeah.
midday, like the hottest time of the day. They didn't try to
It
go
probably would
under
have
the
been better off
wings.
staying with the plane.
Right. So they didn't. So
Right.
they're saying the desert trackers are saying it's very odd that there's nothing around the plane.
Right. It's like they truly just poof gone.
Yeah. Mhm. Jim Washam, Yuma sheriff, had his own questions. He said that there were many things about the case that he thought were odd, making it clear that none of this case made sense to him. He was so uncertain about this that he asked the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office to investigate the couple's background, saying, quote, "I think someone's making a goat out of me."
Oh, what?
I think it means he's like, I want you to look in to actually make sure these people are missing because this case is so weird that there's no way this is real.
A goat out of me?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know, I hadn't heard that term before either, but I guess it's a 1950s term.
Okay.
People from the 1950s let us know.
Or Arizona. Maybe it's like a regional thing.
Oh, maybe. He did go on to say that he didn't believe the couple died in the desert. He claimed that Martins and Walker's footprints had headed westward, but ended near what seemed to be wheel marks of a plane.
And obviously he knew that how to go west.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has the compass, he has the map. Like for me, I could be standing somewhere and I'm like, well, west is to my left. Is it actually to my left based on where I'm standing? Who knows?
Right. But why west? That just brings you more into the desert.
In my mind, I'm thinking, well, you overshot it, so you go back.
Well, but where they were going to go, if they were going to Blythe, they would be going north.
Oh.
So they were southeast from Blythe.
Yeah.
So if they're trying to go northeast.
What I'm thinking of, though, is that he knew enough or could tell with the compass, whatever, to tell which direction was truly going west.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, he even put that they were going west.
Right, exactly.
So our sheriff guy, Wassam, He claimed that Martens and Walker's footprints had headed westward, but ended near what seemed to be wheel marks of a plane, as if they had been picked up by another craft. But later, he denied having said any of this,
Oh,
and the wheel marks of the plane were never able to be corroborated.
interesting.
Mm-hmm. So he starts off saying, like, there were plane marks, they got picked up on a plane, they went somewhere else.
Because they did say that their footprints just abruptly stopped.
Ended. But other people are like, no, they just ended. Like,
There's
there
no
wasn't...
tire tracks, no nothing.
Correct. Like, they just stopped. Like, aliens beamed them up.
And maybe we can get into this later. Do you think, given how much time has passed, that if they did get picked up by a car, enough time has passed that wind and whatnot could have blown?
See, that's what I was wondering. Like, 2 months later,
Right.
they find the plane and they see footprints?
Yeah.
That's what I thought was very interesting.
But I guess if they see footprints, they would see tire tracks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that part was weird.
Yeah.
So with absolutely nothing being found of the couple, no clothes, nothing, many theories popped up about what could have happened. So one very simple explanation is that from Sheriff James Washam, so he had another theory, he believes the couple could have gotten caught in a flash flood. So even though it's the desert, floods can happen in certain areas,
Yeah.
and where the plane was found is one of those areas.
So maybe they landed somewhere and the flash flood carried them in the plane to where they landed. Or like where they were found.
Where the plane was found.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or that's why they're all of a sudden gone.
Oh, because a flash flood wiped them out.
Yes.
But then you wouldn't see their footprints.
Right. I don't know. This is just a theory.
Okay.
But it's not like a flash flood's going to cover the whole desert. It's like there's these little like channels.
Yeah.
So it would have gone through those channels. So the next theory comes from an Arizona criminologist, Dr. H.S. Mikesell.
Okay.
He pointed out that the area where the couple disappeared happened to be a pretty notorious spot for outlaws and drug smugglers from Mexico. He suggested that these smugglers came across the couple and murdered them to avoid being detected by American authorities.
Do we know how far their plane was from the border? I know they were in Yuma, you said?
Pretty close.
Okay.
Pretty close.
So if they headed west, they would probably end up in Mexico.
Well, yeah, it said if they headed west, they're going into the Mexican desert.
Weird. Very weird.
Yes. So that's another theory.
Yeah.
Another theory that a lot of family members hang on to is the theory that the couple is still alive and living in either Mexico or Martin's homeland of Germany.
But why? It didn't seem like they had any reason that they needed to disappear.
Right. Well, I get into some.
Okay.
So Martin's father even still lived in Germany, which kind of added credence to that theory. In 1955...
Wait. He's German?
Martin's is, yeah.
Okay.
Just wait.
Okay.
I know, you're like connecting.
He was in the military in World War I, right? Or B2, right? Yeah, because Vietnam War hasn't happened yet.
He was a combat intelligence veteran of World War II.
And he's German.
He's German.
Interesting. Okay, continue.
In 1955, there were reports from apparently reliable sources that said that a couple matching this one's description were seen in Mexico. They were described as keeping to themselves and having little to do with other Americans.
Okay.
Yep. Then there's the elopement theory.
Okay.
But according to Martin's mother, he actually wanted his wife Nina back. Shortly before he disappeared, he had gone to Nina and begged for reconciliation. And
does Nina corroborate this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And apparently Nina was seriously considering it.
Oh.
And apparently here's some tea.
Okay.
So Martens had actually first asked Nina to accompany him to Blythe, but when she declined, he then asked Walker. So to Martin, this was his last date with Walker, as he was planning to return to Nina when they returned.
And there's no reason for him to do anything shady because they're not married, so you just break up with the person.
Right. And go back to who you were married to.
Right. That's weird.
Then there was also a suicide theory that went along with this one, where Nina said that she actually had not welcomed the move of Martin's coming back. So he did try to reconcile. She wasn't about it.
Okay, so she's saying she rejected him.
Yep.
Okay.
But she refuted the possibility that the disappearances were a part of a suicide pact.
Yeah, they've only known each other for a few months.
A couple months.
Right, why would that?
Right.
Now, I could see it that maybe he had this in mind, and she unfortunately was collateral damage.
Maybe.
You know, getting lost in the desert with or without him, it's going to be difficult to survive.
Maybe.
So if that was his plan and she was with him, subsequently she's going to, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. So obviously there has to be a spy theory.
A spy theory?
Yes.
I think that's a new one. Usually aliens, sure.
We actually don't have the alien theory at all come up in this,
Which is crazy because
especially in Arizona.
not only in Arizona, number one. Number two, if it just stops and there's nothing else around, get beamed up.
Right, aliens.
Or maybe a helicopter, rope, climb up. Maybe they are spies. Continue.
So this one says that perhaps the couple went into hiding because they were doing intelligence work for the US government.
Ooh.
Or maybe that Martens was actually a communist agent.
He was in the American military?
Yes.
I don't think so.
So this theory may have some backing. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So an article on strangecompany.com said, quote, Klaus's father, a Prussian baron, had been a prominent Nazi who, after the war, threw in his lot with the East German communists. The old boy clearly knew how to pick 'em. That's their words from the article. According to a close friend of Klaus, father and son were still in communication. In fact, according to this friend, a few days before Klaus disappeared, he received a letter from his father that made him, quote, very happy. It might be a great pity that we do not know the contents of this message.
I mean, it's possible, I guess. But it sounds like he was successful on his own.
Right, so he doesn't really need his Nazi dad.
Right. And at that point, you don't want to brag that you got a Nazi dad.
No, you really don't, especially if you were a World War II veteran,
Right.
like on the US side.
Like, unless. Now, granted, in the 1950s, there was the quote, Red Scare, where anyone and everyone was communists. It's kind of like the Salem witch trials, but not.
Right.
But my grandparents from Russia would have been considered communists. They weren't. They were socialists.
Right.
Which, as we know, they go hand in hand.
Yes.
According to people.
Yes.
Not
yes.
that they actually
no,
go hand
no,
in hand.
they don't. But yeah.
And so if they had these accusations when really it's not necessarily they're communists, but they're more progressive and things like that. But you would know that. That would be part of the story. Like, their family would know that. Like, that's not just, like, some random thing.
Right. But Nina refuted this one, simply saying that, quote, Klaus was a good American.
Right. Do you know if he grew up in America? No, you don't know any.
It didn't really go much into his childhood. There's not a lot on them.
Because you said his dad still lived in Germany.
His dad still lived in Germany and is a Nazi, I guess. And it was something
didn't, clearly.
We didn't know a lot about it, but somehow he made it over to America.
Okay.
I think he might have come to America with his mom, but I don't know at what point.
I feel like if you're coming to America with a parent, you're usually a kid.
Yeah. I believe. Again, we don't have much on his childhood or anything like that.
Yeah.
Nina.
Right. You're not going to fight in a war against your home country if you're not actually against your home country.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly. Nina also refuted the idea that Martens just got lost in the desert. So a lot of people are like, they just got lost.
That doesn't make sense.
She corroborated that he was, quote, a forceful, positive person who made his own decision and knew exactly where he was going all the time. So she knew he was experienced and had the experience, so him just randomly getting lost made no sense to her.
I don't know if this is possible. So you know how their footprints just stop? You know how you said they crossed a road? Did they cross a road and go far?
I don't know how far past the road they went, but their footprints did not backtrack to the road.
Unless they happened to step
exactly in those places walking backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
picked them up on the side of the road.
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
But it wasn't one of the theories that they put, so I feel like they went
this is
far
the
enough.
Mackenzie theory.
Okay, the Mackenzie theory.
They backtracked exactly where their feet were. Just circumstance.
and just made it back on the road and got picked up from there.
Yes. Maybe they ran, so the footprints were a little different.
It didn't say that.
I know it didn't say that.
So those are all the theories we have. So are we going with your theory where they just backtracked onto the road? Is that the Mackenzie lore and scary state theory?
Okay. One, I think they're dead.
Yeah.
Especially by this point, just because of age alone.
Right.
So even if they manage to survive and live the rest of their lives, I don't think they're still alive. Just because they'd be too old.
Right, because she would have been, let's just say she was 25. She was 26 in 51. I don't want to do the math. We're just going to go from 55. So 50, 30. Yeah, they'd be about 95.
Doable. Could still be alive.
Doable.
But not the average.
Right, right.
I definitely think it's odd how lost they got, even though he was able to declare and actually go west.
Yeah.
Like, that part's weird to me.
And he had a map.
And so it's like, was it that no, because if he's flown by himself before, he can obviously do 2 things at once.
Right.
Was it because he didn't fill out the flight path thing? And he was trying to wing it and trying to be this Mr.
Wing it.
Survivalist? Pun intended.
No idea.
Because okay, let's say he doesn't turn on the flight plan. Maybe he's trying to be this macho man. I can get there. I've done this a bunch of times. I don't need a plan. I'll just go.
Mhm.
And like in true male fashion, not asking for directions, you get lost.
A little bit.
He realizes he's lost, decides to land the plane, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
could they have been threatened over the radio?
who knows?
Yeah.
So to end this, in November of 1952, Roscoe Hess, Martin's father-in-law, so Nina's father,
Mhm.
was appointed trustee of some property belonging to Martens,
Okay.
which would make sense if they never got divorced.
Right.
But when the probate judge asked him why the petition to declare Martens legally dead had not been filed, Hess replied, quote, "Suspicious circumstances surrounding the case have made this inadvisable." And then others told him that there was reason to believe that they were still alive, and
Mhm.
like others said, living in either Mexico or Germany.
But why? These two just fucking met.
I know. But in July of
Especially if
1959,
he's pining for his ex-wife.
right, exactly. Like it was concluded. Like Nina even said, "Oh yeah, he came back." Like he wanted to reconcile.
I think what makes the most sense is that he was feeling down, takes the plane down, unfortunately takes this lady he just met with him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she was pissed he tried to get his wife back. I don't know.
Maybe
But
pissed that he didn't want to marry her because he still had a wife.
it's like, what, they were together 2-3 months?
Couple months, yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, I know in the movies they run away together because they're so in love, but this isn't the movies. Like, I just find that really hard to believe.
Yeah. But in July of 1959, it was reported that Hess had finally begun the proceedings to have Martens officially declared deceased.
Which, like, you kind of have to,
You do.
you know?
For 3 years following their disappearance, the desert was periodically searched, but still no signs, not a single trace have ever been found. And still today, no one knows what happened to Klaus Martens and June Marajune Walker.
That's crazy.
At one point, her dad, June's dad, came to he was from New York. He came down to Arizona to look.
Sure.
And he said that the small little portion of Arizona that they were going to look at was bigger than all of New York.
State?
Wherever he lived, maybe New York City.
Yeah.
I'm not
That
100%
makes more
sure.
sense.
It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But he realized the massive scope and scale of the desert that he's like, there's no way we're finding her. And he turned right back around and went back to New York.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that makes it suspicious is the plane is perfectly fine.
Yes.
The plane is perfectly fine. They could have kept flying. There was better places for them to land that would have put them with civilization to get whatever help they may or may not have needed.
They were literally 10 miles away from Welton.
Was there stuff left in the car? I mean,
The compass and the map were left in the plane. But it didn't say it didn't say if they had packed anything, if they had suitcases, luggage, none of that was
I
mentioned.
guess if he can fly and it's just 200 miles.
Yeah, maybe that's a quick flight.
Yeah, maybe he just does it there and back in a day, so they didn't need to bring anything.
Maybe.
But
I mean, she was just dressed in shorts,
she would have had a purse.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't mention that. It didn't say anything was found in the plane, so maybe nothing was found in the plane, so any personal items they had with them.
Which, if they were to have died in the desert, you would have found.
Right, good point. Yeah, you would have found it.
I think the only thing that makes sense is 1, aliens.
Obviously, we always like that theory.
2, maybe some helicopter was flying over. They climb into the helicopter.
But see, my only thing with the helicopters, and wouldn't the wind of that have blown away their footprints?
Probably.
I do like your idea, honestly, of walking backwards back to the road.
Maybe they walked backwards back to the road. Or maybe they didn't go as far as we think they did.
Maybe. Because we weren't really told how far from the road they kept walking.
Right.
I don't have...
They crossed it.
Yes. I don't have a distance of how far they went.
Right. So...
Because it was in the 50s, so, not a ton was reported.
Exactly. So, if they pivot and go back and get into someone's car...
Right.
Maybe not a good guy. or gal.
Potentially.
And,
There's another theory.
you know,
Yeah.
that's the only one that makes sense in terms of how the footprints are. Unless whoever did pick them up got rid of the tracks and everything else that would have shown.
It seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, but if you're trying to get away with it,
That's true.
you're going to take the time to cover
It
yourself
reminds
up.
me of that dog in Alice in Wonderland who's like, when she gets lost in the woods, like the animated one, there's that dog who has like the broom on his face and the broom on his tail. And so he's like getting rid of the track like as he walks.
Yeah. I don't think quite that. Because even if they were killed right there, you would have at least have blood. If you still have footprints, you're going to still have blood.
Right, you're gonna have something.
Yeah. So nothing, I feel like nothing logical makes sense.
No. It's one of those cases where just, who knows?
Maybe she freaked out. Maybe she didn't realize she was afraid of heights. She made him land.
But I mean, they had been flying for a while to make land. Go to my notes when you're done and you can see one of the pictures I included. It shows you the flight path.
Like what they should have taken?
What they should have taken and what they did take.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
where their plane was found.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was in the air long enough.
I don't know.
That's a mysterious disappearance.
Because if it was me, I don't know if I would leave the plane.
I wouldn't. And I mean, especially if like,
I definitely wouldn't cross the road and keep going.
and if it's midday, like I'm going to be like either staying in the plane or if it's maybe like,
Is that what the note said?
no, it said that
It just-
5:45 a.m. So they were there early in the morning. They were just heading west. But I feel like I would have hid under like the plane wing until it got like, I don't know, until it was nighttime or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't travel
Mm-mm.
when the day started.
No, me either.
I would start traveling maybe
At night.
5:45 p.m.
Right.
and travel at night when
Right.
it's cooler,
Yeah. Not midday.
not midday.
But it's also interesting because it said, I just thought of this now, they concluded that the plane landed midday, but then the note said 5:45 a.m. heading west.
Which means they would have stayed the night at least one night.
Yeah.
And it just really didn't seem like they were that far from things.
No, they weren't too far from the road. Because their feet disappeared 3 miles, and at 3 miles they had crossed the road.
Right. At that point,
Just hop on the road and follow the road.
at the very least, follow the road.
Right.
Why keep heading?
Into the desert.
Right. That's the weird
Like into the
part.
literal desert.
Right. That's
Yeah.
weird. Like, I get maybe not sitting there and waiting, but if it's hot as shit out and they have no water and whatnot, delirium could have started to set in
That's true.
and they're not thinking.
And he also spelt heading wrong.
Interesting.
Heding.
Well, phonetically.
Phonetically, but not how it's spelled.
And all it says was 5:45 a.m. heading west. Like, no names were signed.
No names were signed, but it was in Martin's handwriting.
Is the
guy.
guy. Okay.
Klaus.
Well, if he came here from Germany and English is not his native language,
Good point.
it would make sense that he might misspell it.
5:45 a.m. Monday, started walking, heading due west on foot.
It's like, okay, you would think he left the note there in case someone finds the plane.
Right, yeah.
So,
But why no other notes? Why no other information? Like, why are you heading west?
or like, why did you fucking land?
Right. Anything.
But you want to make sure people know you went west?
Right. And an arrow, too, pointing where they were going.
That's weird.
Yeah.
There's so many bits and pieces of it that don't fit into any narrative very well.
Right.
Because it's like, obviously you can read a compass because you literally went due west.
Right.
Which I feel like, who goes due west?
And you're in the military.
Don't people typically try to go north? Like, it just, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. No one does.
Obviously. It's just strange.
It
If
is
they had known
strange.
each other for longer, maybe even have been married, that would have been one thing. But it's the fact that they only knew each other for a couple of months that makes it like, well, why would she want to disappear with him?
Right.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
she was in love with him, so she easily could have wanted to disappear with him. But it's why would he want to disappear with her?
I still kind of like my theory of like, wanted to end it.
And just she happened to be along for the ride.
Yeah. That still doesn't explain. Unless they did start walking along the road. They went back and started walking along the road.
Maybe.
We need to know the distance that they kept walking.
I know.
After the road in order for that theory to
I know. Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
they could have easily... It makes the most sense to me that they would have backtracked and started walking along the road. And if you're on the road, you're not going to leave
Right.
tracks.
Right, obviously.
And so it could have been that they walked some ways and then collapsed.
Maybe.
And that's why it wasn't found in the direct direction.
I mean, I feel like they would have searched the road to
Like a
Welton.
fucking map. It's got a goddamn map. Like, it just... Ugh. It's frustrating. It's so frustrating. It's like you try to answer one question, you're like, okay, that works, but then it's like,
Yeah.
but it doesn't.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening.
She's cutting me off so I don't keep going in circles.
I know you. We'll soon be like
festering about this for days.
the red string theories all over the place.
But yes, thank you for listening.
Rate and review us.
Reminder that not this episode, but next episode will be Lauren's last for maternity leave. Whatever the week of, whenever the baby gets here, there will not be an episode because I will not be doing that.
Mackenzie will be there with me.
You'll know because I'll post baby is here, BRB.
Right, yeah.
But then, yes, I'll have special guests. As of right now, I plan to just keep doing the States just because it's easier.
Whatever.
So, but Lauren will be back.
I will be back.
She's got no choice because this was her idea.
Like I said last time, this is my baby, my first baby.
Yeah. So
I'll be back.
yes.
All right, so stay scary
and stay safe.